again, my little yarnivores and spiderettes. Fiber Spider back again with another tutorial just for you. Hope all of you are doing really well today. I'm doing pretty spiffy because, well, it's that time of the week where I get to show you a new stitch. And today we are going to be doing a cute, simple, and quick lacy stitch. This is the Cottage Windows stitch. It's light, it's lacy, it's only a 4-row repeat. I think that it would make for a really nice lightweight blanket, or maybe a beach cover-up, or a table runner, or some window curtains, really whatever tickles your fancy. And it works up, like I said, super duper fast. And, well, for this particular swatch, I used Lion Brand's Pound of Love in the colorway of Pumpkin Spice, one of my favorite cozy colors. And I also used a 6mm size J crochet hook because I wanted this to have a really nice flowy drape to it. And we're going to be using the same yarn today, actually. And, well, without further ado, let's get started. Okie dokie, so first things first, as always with the stitch tutorials, the base chain. Now for this particular swatch, we're going to need a multiple of 9 chains plus an additional 8 chains. So right here, I have a total of 35 chains. So it was 9 times 3 is 27 plus an additional 8. At 35. Or an easier way of doing it is if I did 9 times 4 is 36, just take 1 away and you end up with 35. You can, of course, make this as wide or as narrow as you want to, as always, but I always suggest make up a swatch first, and that way you can determine how many multiples of 9 plus your additional 8 that you would need in order to obtain the width that you're going for. And also, of course, it gets you used to how to work up the stitch. And, there you go. So get your multiple of 9 plus your additional 8 chains ready, and we shall begin. All right, I'll see you soon. Okay, row 1. The first 2 rows, we're going to sort of build up our foundation. And then the next 4 rows, well, those are going to be the actual pattern repeats. So let's get ourselves started with row 1. Into the 4th chain from the hook, double crochet. So technically speaking, we have 2 doubles right out of the gate, and we need to add an additional 3 more so that we have a total of 5. So I've got 2 and 3, 4 and 5. So for this particular stitch, the blocks that we have on either side, we have 5 doubles. Otherwise, in the middle, it's only 4. Picture this first double as sort of a framework for the rest. This will make more sense as we keep going. So for here, chain 2, and skipping 2 chains, going into the 3rd with a double crochet. We're creating the first tier of window panes. Chain 2, skip 2 chains and double into the 3rd again. So we have the bottom half of a little window right there. And double crochet into the next 3 chains for a total of 4 doubles. There we are. Now we're going to make another set of window panes. Chain 2, skip 2 chains, double into the 3rd, chain 2, skip 2 chains, double into the 3rd, and 3 more for a total of 4. And it's this first row that is always the most difficult for me because working into the actual chains, but it's going to get a lot easier after row 1. So chain 2, another set of window panes, skip 2 chains, double into the third, chain 2, skip 2 chains, double into the third, and then double into the next 4 chains for a total of 5 doubles. Like I said, the beginning and end block always have 5 doubles total. So I got 3, 2 more chains left, perfect. It's 4, and the 5th in the last chain. And there you are. So your piece should look a little something like this. And there you go. All right, onwards. Okay, row 2, going to be very similar to row 1. We're essentially going to be doing the same thing. First off, start off by chaining up 2. And that is going to count as my first double crochet. Now, some people, they prefer to chain up 3. I like to chain up 2 because I think it creates a much cleaner, neater edge. That's just me. So chaining up 2, and then into the next 4 doubles, a double crochet into each. Be sure to skip this first one, otherwise it's going to throw off your count. So not into here, into here. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we are. Chain 2, because now we're doing the second tier of windows. So chain 2 and double into that middle double there. Chain 2, skip the chain space and double into the next 4 doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 2, skip the chain space, double into that little guy in the middle there, that double. Chain 2, skip the chain space again, and double into the next 4 doubles. And here's 2, and 3, and 4. Chain 2, skip the chain space, double into that middle double there. Chain 2, and then skipping the chain space, doing a double into each of the last 5 doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one is always a little bit curmudgeon-y, but if you turn the chain a little bit, it's easier to see where to go into. And it's not entirely crucial. You could go in between the stitches, but I like to go into the chain when I can find the stitch that I actually need to go into right there. Yeah, nice and clean. All right, oops. And that is the end of row 2. So we finished our first tier of windows, and from here on, the windows, they're going to be offset, sort of like a checkerboard actually. And like I said, it's these next 4 rows that are going to be the repeat that you just keep doing over and over and over and over again. That being said, let's do it. Okay, row 3, it's the first row of the repeat. So because we need to offset our windows, we need to have a window on top of this block here. So chain 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So the first 2 chains count as a double. The second 2 chains count as a chain 2 space. So after chaining 4, all right, now in between the third and the fourth double, in between, we're not actually going to go into the stitches, but in between the stitches, go in with a double crochet. Like so. Chain 2. And then into the chain 2 space, 2 doubles. Into the first window, and then 2 doubles into the second window. Like so. And you can always scooch them a little bit closer together to create more of a solid block. But by doing this and going into the spaces and not into the actual stitches, it goes by a lot faster. So from here, we need another set of windows because we have this first tier of the set of windows. We now need to do it over here as well. Chain 2. Oops, I missed apply. There we go, chain 2. Then in between the second and third, backtracking just a second here, the reason why over here it's between the third and the fourth is because this fifth one here at the end, this one does not count towards the total. Like I said, it's strictly a sort of a framework for the rest of the piece. So here it's between 3 and 4. Over here, it'll be between 2 and 3. I hope that makes sense. So after chaining 2, double crochet in between the second and third. Chain 2. And then into the chain 2 space, 2 doubles. Two doubles into the next chain 2 space. Chain 2. Double in between the second and third double. Chain 2. Into the next chain 2 space, 2 doubles. Two doubles into the next chain 2 space. Chain 2. Okay, now in between the second and third, right in between here, between the second and the third, double crochet in between those 2 stitches, like so, chain 2, and double crochet into the last double, which it's going to be the second chain from the bottom, right there. Now, with some stitches, I do not make a fuss, and I say you can just sort of wing it. However, with this stitch, I really think that it looks a lot cleaner and a lot neater if you go into the actual chain stitch of that double crochet. That's just me. All right, and so your piece should look something like this at the end of row 3. Alrighty. Row 4. Row 4, we're going to do essentially the same thing that we did for row 3, sort of stacking on top of what we did. So again, chain up 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's going to count as our double crochet and chain 2 space. skip the chain 2 space here, double crochet into that little double crochet right there, chain 2, skip the chain 2 space, and then double crochet into each of the double crochets, all 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and again, like I said, you can sort of scoot the doubles together. Chain 2, skip the chain space, double into the next double, chain 2, skip the chain space, double into the next 4 doubles. There we go. Chain 2, skip the chain space, double into the next double, chain 2, skip the chain space, double into each of the next 4 doubles. Chain 2, skip the chain space, double into the next double. Okay, now at the end here, chain 2, and what I find the easiest way to do it is to do a double crochet into the second chain from the bottom here, or the third chain from the top, either way. But I think that going second from the bottom is, for me, the easiest. So double crochet into that second chain from the bottom, and there you go. See, it creates a really nice, clean edge. And there you go. That is the end of row 4. And now we've got 2 full tiers. But because I like to have things fairly symmetric, that's why it's the next 2 rows that would be the end of the repeat, so that you would end up with a block here and a block here, framing in the windows nicely. So let's get to it. Row 5. Okay, row 5, we're going to create some blocks on top of the windows. So starting off by chaining up 2 and turning the work into the first chain 2 space, 2 doubles, two doubles into the next chain 2 space, chain 2, double crochet in between the second and third double, right in between there, chain 2, next chain space, 2 doubles, two doubles into the next chain space, chain 2, double in between the second and third double, chain 2, two doubles into the next chain 2 space, two doubles into the next chain 2 space, chain 2, double crochet in between the second and third double, chain 2, two doubles into the chain 2 space, two doubles into the next chain 2 space, and then last but not least, double crochet into the second chain from the bottom for the 5th double crochet on this block here. It's a little bit fiddly at times, but perseverance pays off. Little patience, little persistence, little perseverance all goes a long way. And there you go. So that is the end of row 5. Row 6, last row for the repeat. Chain up 2, turn. Don't forget, skip this first one, double into the next 4 doubles for a total of 5. That's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 2, double into the double, chain 2, double into the next 4 doubles, chain 2, double into the next double, chain 2, double into the next 4 doubles, and gotta pull up more yarn. There we go. All right, I got 3. I need 1 more. There we go. Chain 2, double into the next double, chain 2, and double into the last 5 doubles. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and second chain from the bottom, that last double there. Yes, it can be tricky to get into there, but again, persistence and patience, they pay off. And there you go. Beautiful. Love it, love it, love it. And like I said, you can always shift your first run doubles together a little bit. And also over time, they will settle into place, I imagine. And you could just sort of scooch them and they will behave. There you go. All right, so all you have to do to keep going with the stitch is repeat rows 3, 4, 5, and 6 over and over and over again until your piece is the desired length. And of course, as always, I'm going to put the timestamps for the different rows in the description box. And so, yeah, you could just keep going over and over and over again until your piece is the desired size. And I love this. Now, I want to hear from you in the comments section. What sort of a project are you going to do with this stitch? Now, something like a blanket, or a wrap, a scarf, always interested in hearing about your creative journey. And what sort of yarn, what sort of colorways? Personally, I think that an ombre would look stunning in this. I think the only yarn that I think that I would stray away from with this would be perhaps a quick change variegated that changes color like every couple of inches. I think it would look a little too chaotic for this, just personal opinion, but solid colors always work well. And also I think a long range variegated like an ombre, I think that would look rather nice too. Let me know what you think in the comments section. And as always, you know what to do until next time, right? I want all of you to stay inspired, stay caffeinated, stay stitching, and please stay safe. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now, everybody, and have a great day.